both sides of the conversation family. We welcome you to this virtual space crafted especially for you. My name is Jada Curry, and I'm both sides of the conversation's marketing director and graphics design specialist. I want to take some time to ground us all as a community into this space we are about to open up in, so let's go through our community standards. Both sides of the conversation is providing a safe and honest space for open conversation, so we ask that you all be respectful of that. We also ask that you be respectful of each panelist, host, and participant. We do encourage healthy debates and conversations. Don't personalize anything with anyone. This includes name-calling, bullying, trolling, or shaming. This will not be allowed or tolerated. Your perspective is yours. It is not a prescription. You do not have to agree, but show respect. These community standards apply to all of our live shows and any virtual spaces that we hold on social media, including YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. We want to make sure that we are caring for each other as a community. This is our priority in all of our endeavors as both sides of the conversation. With that being said, I hope you enjoyed today's show and continue to stay in touch with us via YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or all of them. All right, thank you for listening and see you soon.
Welcome everybody to Both Sides of the Conversation. I'm John Henry, Executive Director. Today is Thursday, so you know what that means. We'll have another education presentation. Today we have a phenomenal sister who's going to come on here and educate our community about tech entrepreneurship. She's been on our program for before. She's doing a lot of phenomenal things to bless our community. It should be an epic presentation tonight, so hope you all get something out of tonight's presentation. With that being said, if you would like to be one of these presenters and would like to come back and bless the community with some good information and do a PowerPoint presentation, please go to our website and sign up under our Educational Thursday to be a presenter. It's always a good time to give information and share information back with our community. So just very important stuff. But with that being said, first off, I want to start off and say thank everybody in the community, family, friends, all our community folks who reached out. Yesterday was my birthday. All of the love, I felt it from community. I needed it. As you all know, it's been a tough week dealing with loss and COVID and family things, stuff happening all over the place. But I just want to thank the community for reaching out and sharing me some love on my birthday. And thank you to all of the community who supported the donations for both sides of the conversation. That's all I asked. I didn't want anything for my birthday. Help support this platform. And thank you to everybody who donated to support our efforts and what we're doing to try to intentionally educate and bring our community resources together. So just want to say thank you to everybody. It was much needed. It was one of those days, and just seeing all the love and support helped uplift my spirits on my birthday. So thanks everybody for that. And then also just want to give a huge shout out to all of our amazing Both Sides of the Conversation staff. We have been adding more and more people who are believing in the mission and vision of what we're trying to do to come and bless our community. So just want to say thank you to all of our staff who work so hard around the clock to make sure that we provide these segments and making sure that we do our things to impact the community. And we just appreciate all of the volunteers who's been reaching out saying, how can I support? How can I help? We know that village approach is very important, and it takes community to come together. So with that being said, there's going to be a number of opportunities for different programming, different things that we're going to be able to do to help bless our community and the community. So I'm just pumped up and excited, and just knowing that we have some phenomenal people that's just going to come on and have some great ideas on how we can further impact our communities, as we know our communities need it, as we've been impacted with the uptick of COVID, as well as violence in our community and some of the services that we need. So hopefully we'll be able to put that out to community. So just excited about that. Also want to give a huge shout out to all of the sponsors and people that's been supporting us: YCD, Collective Impact, Feline Dance Group, a number of organizations which has been coming together, trying to do things to help impact the community as well as both sides of the conversation. So just want to thank them, to all of the Dream Keeper initiatives, just people working together and connecting. Met with a few people today. There's a lot of people trying to work together to help impact our community. So just looking forward to doing more work and more partnerships. With that being said, going to jump into tonight's announcements, and then we're going to go ahead and introduce tonight our phenomenal presenter. World announcements. The Department of Education, they just approved a $5.8 billion student debt relief for over 300,000 borrowers with disabilities. In the past, there's been a struggle with people with disabilities having access to that grant relief or loan relief program. So now they put 5.8 billion into there. So people with disabilities, there's some information that they would have to prove, but that is going out. So please go to the Department of Education website. If you're a person who have went through the educational process, racked up loans and debts, and you qualify under the Disability Act, please go to their website. There are some ways that you can get some of your loans reinstated or paid off. So check that out. Also, in the state of California, as you all know, we are going through a recall election for Governor Newsom. So just want to get out some reminders to community. August 16th is the first day to vote by mail. So that already went out. That was a couple of days ago. And then August 30th is the last day to register to vote. Please, everybody in the state of California, check your voter registration. Make sure you updated all your information so that you can have your voice heard on this election that's coming up in September. Very, very important information. We will have a Thursday educational presentation by some of the folks from the Department of Elections that's going to come on our platform to help educate people and walk them through the process. So looking forward to that. No matter what side, who you vote for, just be a part of the process. I think it is very important. And if you haven't registered in a while, or you moved to the state, please go to the Department of Motor Vehicles and register to vote. And then September 14th will be the election day. The polls will open at 7 a.m. and they will close at 8 p.m. So I think that is very, very important information for community to know. Local community announcements. The Alameda County Fatherhood Initiative is hosting boot camp for new dads starting this Saturday, August the 21st, from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. via Zoom. I think it is very, very important. As you know, I'm always advocating for services for our fathers. Sometimes we overlook our fathers in the community. So shout out to Alameda County and their boot camp for dads. So if you're a dad out there, a new dad or a single dad, please look at joining this fatherhood group. We'll put their information up on the screen, but they have a phone number that you can reach out at 510-667-4340. And also they have a Facebook page, ACF Fatherhood. So please look at them and support them. I think that is phenomenal. I think the more programming that we could get for our fathers and our young males out there is very, very, very important. Also, Feed in the Hood, a partnership with Digital Underground, families and friends. They are having a food drive and distribution at the Oakland let me see what it is, at the East Oakland Collective Office, which is 7800 MacArthur Boulevard. If you would like to participate in that, it's going to be a pretty good drive giveaway that they're having. Please go over to 7800 MacArthur Boulevard in Oakland this Saturday at 7 a.m. to 11 a.m. There will be a lot of resources and services that they'll have for community in our Oakland area. So please reach out to them. That should be a great event. Also, Mobilize Love is hosting an event on Saturday, August 21 at 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. It's going to be located at the Oracle Parking Lot 74 at Mission Rock. Everyone must register in person or on the day of the event. You could go to mobilizelove.org or you could go to thecityeats.org and register. There's going to be a number of food and volunteer opportunities. I already put it out earlier this week. We need distributors. We're going to be packaging food for those in needs. We need people in the community to come out and just get the food to the community, because we know down at the Mission Bay area where we're going to be hosting it, where the event will be hosted, sometimes police and our homeless people in the community don't want to come down there because of the police activity. So we are definitely looking for people to help distribute and get the food out to community. There are going to be opportunities for our young people to get haircuts and people of the community, household item, new shoes. There's going to be some raffles and gift cards, backpacks, different things, but everybody has to register. So please, if you want to be a part of this event this Saturday at 10 a.m. to 1 p.m., please go to Mobilize Love, or you could go on to cityeats.org and register. This Sunday, youth and business community collaboration will be happening from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Please, if anybody's in the area, it's going to be at the Speakeasy Brewery at 1195 Evans Avenue. Please go out there and support our young people. Look at some of these young entrepreneurs, support their businesses and support their drive. It is a phenomenal event. So please go through there and support our young people. That is this Sunday at 10 a.m. or 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. Should be a great event to see some of our young entrepreneurs of the community. And then finally, we'll have another homeless feed that will be doing food distribution in the Solano County area in the city of Fairfield. Mobilize, it'll be Vibes and Smiles, the City Eats, and a number of other organizations that are coming together to support those in need in the Fairfield area and the Solano County. So the distribution will be happening at 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. They'll have the food already packaged. It will be on the corner of West Texas and Beck Street from 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. So if you are in the Solano area or if you are in the Fairfield area and you would like to support, give back. I know the City Eats, a lot of people been reaching, trying to be a part of the City Eats. This is another event, Vibes and Smiles. You could give back and bless in your community. So if you're in the Fairfield area, please come out and support this event. Let's bless those in the community who need some support on Sunday the 22nd. Last event, the San Francisco African American Culture and Arts District is presenting the 3rd Street Block Party. This is going to be a great event. It's going to be located at the Cafe Envy, which is 1701 Yosemite Avenue in San Francisco. It's going to be a great event, 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. at night. Both sides of the conversation will be there. We will be doing a live show. The way we set up our Sunday conversation, we'll be doing it live in the community. That community conversation will be about how do we uplift and empower our community. So I'm looking forward to community to come out, get on the stage, have a conversation with us as we still are trying to put ideals together of how we uplift and impact our community. We know there's been an uptick of violence and different things that's been taking place in our community, and we need community to come out and put their ideals. So if you've been trying to be a presenter or be a part of both sides of the conversation, what a way to come out and be a part of this live event and let community know who you are, and let's have a real conversation of how we empower our community moving forward. With that being said, this Sunday, we're going to have another Sunday conversation. We are still looking for panelists. This Sunday's topic, we're talking about colorism. This is a very important conversation in our community. We are still looking for panelists. If you would like to be a part of this conversation, or you feel you have some of that research or some of that good information and gems that people need to know and identify, please sign up on our website for this Sunday's conversation. I think it'll be a great conversation to talk about very important stuff. And then the last Sunday of the month, 8/29, we will have a relationship conversation. I'm going to continue to ask the fellas of the community, sign up. I need some participation from the man in the community to have this relationship conversation, as our sisters are already logging in and signing up. I need some male support. So please, brothers out there, let's have a conversation about relationships. How do we build that love in our community? I think it'll be a great one. And then 9/5, that Sunday, we'll be talking about solidarity and language. What does that look like? We know there's a lot of solidarity campaigns going on across this country. I think it's a very important conversation. Looking for panelists to sign up for that. And then 9/12, we'll have a part 2 of our disability conversation, reaching out to some of those departments in the city and across the Bay Area to get some of these people to come and ask some of these questions that our people with disabilities have put out there as concerns or issues that they need to have addressed. So looking forward to that conversation as well. Now, with that being said, I'm going to close my mouth now. I've done enough talking, and we're going to go ahead and introduce tonight's guest and let her introduce herself and get ready to jump into tonight's presentation. With that being said, I'll bring up Miss Vanessa Russell, phenomenal sister, love never fails, always doing stuff to bless our community. Welcome to come back to Both Sides of the Conversation. Thank you tonight for hosting and giving our community some of that good information that sometimes our community don't get, sister.
Yes, I'm excited to be here, and I love all the things that you just listed, and I'm just like, you got me hyped. Plus that music. What's that music? Who did that little track in the beginning? I'm always like, hey, when that comes on. I'm a singer, John. See, I didn't let you know. So I started putting some lyrics down. We need to hit the studio. We got some things. But anyway, see, I'm always trying to work out another business, another stream of income. Today is about tech entrepreneurship, but all kinds of entrepreneurship are good, all kinds. So thank you for having me on today. I know you wanted to ask me some questions about our program. So I'll just kind of give a quick overview, and then you had a few questions before I jump into the curriculum. So, or the topic for today. So, just a little bit of my background for everyone to know. So I'm the founding executive director of an organization called Love Never Fails. We started out 10 years ago. I was first of all, I grew up in San Francisco, lived in the Mission District, lived in the Fillmore District, and grew up very impoverished. Spent some time in foster care as a baby, homeless. My mom and I, originally from the East Coast, came to San Francisco and really roughed it out. And but there were some things that I really loved, and that was education and the arts. And that for me was everything when I was growing up. And so as I went into, I didn't even know that I was all that smart, to be honest with you, but I ended up getting into college. And when I went into college, I learned that I had a knack for tech. And, I was started to pick up these jobs, and I was actually pretty good at understanding technical concepts without any formal training. And I later, as the years progressed, it's been, I've been in the industry for 23 years. I have just found that these kinds of concepts are very, I'm able to be this bridge between people that are super technical and people who are not, and help to communicate back and forth. And it's been a very lucrative career. And I've been able to create multiple streams of not just income, but opportunity, of purpose. And one of those has been to launch a nonprofit, which is called Love Never Fails. And I'm the founding executive director, been in place for 10 years. And originally, the reason we started was because I was teaching kids dance. And one of my 15-year-old dance students was raped and sold throughout California for a year in the year 2010, 2011. And that's when we started Love Never Fails. Well, for the first few years of LNF, I was really focused on housing and outreach and just hitting the streets. And then I opened up our first houses about 6 years in, and we now have 4 houses, 27 beds that we are providing for survivors of human trafficking, both women and their children, and girls ages 13 to 17, and men 18 on up. But we really specialize in men with their families, or transitional age men. And so as we began to open up these homes, I realized that what I was doing professionally, which is working in tech, there needed to be more of a bridge that was created between the tech industry and these underserved community members, which happen to have been trafficked or homeless or, disabled or low income. And many of those individuals were Black and living in the most dire circumstances. And here I was, having had this similar background, but living, very well in the IT world. And that's when my passion began to bubble up, and I decided to start IT Biz, which is an IT academy. It's a Cisco networking academy. It's a state certified cybersecurity pre-apprenticeship program and networking pre-apprenticeship program. It is a Cal Jobs trainer, and now we are a certified Department of Rehabilitation vendor. And just recently, I became a Peralta College's computer science and information security professor as well. And so all of that to say, I'm all about creating this bridge between the underserved and under-resourced, which are predominantly Black and brown community members of our community, to tech. And so I know, John, you had some questions you wanted to ask me about our programming. So maybe we could jump into that, and then I'm going to jump into my slides and take you guys through an actual tech entrepreneurship discussion. So
yeah, I think this is very phenomenal. I think this is very important, especially us being here in the Bay Area where we are the tech giants. The Bay Area is known for all this tech. And I think this is really the gateway that I've just been waiting for you to come on for the longest to come do this presentation, because I think a lot of times when we talk about workforce development, and I'm always in these meetings and I'm always arguing with people about jobs, right? Because everybody's talking about, we just want to give people jobs. And when I hear jobs, I think of short term and not sustainability, right? And I'm always like, my community needs careers, sustainability, things that's going to be around for a long time. And a lot of times when people are pitching the type of organizations or the type of fields that our people should go in, it's always like janitorial, it's construction. But, to really make an effective living here in the Bay Area, technology is where it's at. And I'm like, why are we not using this technology for our young people? This is the wave of the future. We can't get away from it. Everything's going digital. Everything is going automated. How do we get our young people? How do we get our community people into these type of careers? And I think this is phenomenal. That's why I'm so excited about this, training tonight and learning this information for community. But with that being said, in this industry, just to give people kind of a context of like the power of this industry, when you talk about tech, the job availability. I know you gave me some numbers about, I forgot how many million jobs there are and how they're, impacting, and they're not going away. We know here in this country, we've been hearing all over the headlines, these cyber attacks, things that's ransomware. This industry is not going away. So I would like to hear some of that information. And then what's the potential for earners? I mean, I know to earn more, you have to continue to climb that ladder of education and get it. But, just starting off the bat, going through this program, getting some of these certificates, what does that look like for a person out there in community?
Yeah. So, I retired from my job in IT 2 years ago so that I could dedicate myself full time to Love Never Fails. And I'm not of retirement age, but I just felt like it was a matter of life and death. And for me, I felt that it was important that we open these doors right now. And there's a reason why I feel that time is of the essence. I have some slides that I was going to share, but I'm going to just go ahead and tell you these stats because this is important. There are leaders in our community like Elon Musk, for example, over there at Tesla, who estimates that artificial intelligence is going to replace anywhere from 25 to 40% of the jobs. Certainly the service industry jobs, certainly any entry level, many of our entry level jobs, our retail jobs, those kinds of jobs are going to be replaced by robotics, by artificial intelligence in very short order. We're already seeing it happen. Have you seen a kiosk take the place of a cashier in a Walmart, in a bank? Have you seen robots roaming around malls and doing promotional pieces? Those were all individuals, oftentimes that are from the Black and Latino community that had an entry-level job doing that. Even, cab driving and some of the disruption that is happening in those industries with cabs now moving to an automated system with a Uber or a Lyft. And now we have autonomous driving cars, and it'll only be a matter of time before you won't even need someone to drive you anywhere. You just go online and you say, pick me up, and a car comes and picks you up without anybody in it. And so these are the reasons why we have to stay up on our technology. Also, because everything is becoming sensors and there's a concept called Internet of Things, IoT, because everything is moving towards this sort of sensor-based AI, artificial intelligence-based delivery of services. There's a lot of opportunity for hackers to hold businesses ransom, right? And so we've seen a lot of these ransomware attacks, cyber attacks that are coming in to what used to be a non-digital business, like providing oil or electricity or providing some kind of service that used to be manual in nature that has now been digitized and hasn't been properly secured. And since it hasn't been digitally secured properly, it has been hacked. And now that an individual can come or a group of folks can hold a company ransom for millions before they release the asset, the digital asset, whatever it may be. And so that is why cybersecurity is the hottest industry for us to get in. And there are approximately 7 million vacancies that are available to us. There is no shortage of talent in the cybersecurity space. And as a matter of fact, you will not go unemployed. If you have any cybersecurity expertise, you will not go unemployed. And so the classes that we offer, and we're opening right now, we're getting close to graduating our 63 students that are currently enrolled in our 2021 cohort. 63 students from across the Bay Area. Our students are 56% women, 68% Black and Latino. They are 44% disabled, so there's some different types of learning disabilities or maybe ADHD, things like that. But we've learned how to adapt our classes so that they work for the populations that we serve. And of course, we represent, the people that are teaching the classes are culturally relevant. And so we're able to retain students that normally wouldn't be represented in this space. And so that's really exciting for us to see these 63 students. They're graduating in November, and they're going to be going on to paid internships at Google, at HP, at CEWS, Corporate E-Waste Solutions, at SYNAC. These are high-tech companies in the Bay Area, and they're going to be hosting them in paid internships. And so we're super grateful and excited for all the sponsors, and specifically Microsoft is a sponsor. Hayward's a sponsor. People are investing, City of Hayward, they're investing their finances and funds and their resources in to cultivating this kind of talent in folks that are traditionally overlooked. I mean, just here's a stat for you. Only 25% of the tech industry are women. Only 3% of those are Black women. I met with an executive from a San Francisco high-tech company, and they were explaining to me, they go, you know what, I've been searching for a Black tech salesperson. I've sourced 800 resumes, and not one of them was Black. Not one. And I thought, this is we got to change this. We've got to make these investments. And then you asked me about economics, right? So I'm gonna give you my paycheck because I ain't got it no more. So I'm gonna tell you about my old paycheck. I traded it out for a nonprofit paycheck, but I got my riches stored up elsewhere. But to a large degree, I had things in place to be able to make that move. Let me make sure you understand that. I was making $300,000 a year in my role as a global senior sales leader at Cisco Systems when I retired in 2019. $300,000 a year. You talking to somebody who was on welfare in the city, who was, getting that government cheese, somebody who was in foster care previous, somebody who knows how to live in difficult circumstances, able to buy my own home, multiple homes, as a matter of fact, able to buy, a Mercedes for myself, $70,000 Mercedes, and I'm not dropping these dollars because I'm enamored with them. I'm actually not a money person. I'm a people person, but I want you to know that, you know what? It's about having, like my husband says, it's the provision for the vision. It's the provision for the vision because I was able to do all that. I was like, buying this Mercedes, it was cool, but you know what's even more cool? Using your money so that you can help others. And that's now at the place that I'm at in my life where I've established myself such that I can go and work at this nonprofit. And then, of course, I have a husband that supports me in that. And I appreciate him so much in kind of coming around and us having that shared vision to go after the community in this way. So anyway, that, I just gave a little bit of the money scheme, but, it's out there and even entry level. Entry level, you're going to be making at least $25 an hour entry level in the tech world. And, you can work anywhere you want. Zoom had some positions that were open. I'm working with a partner that's in San Francisco right now. Zoom had some positions open. Base was $56,000. The bonus structure was $80,000. I'm sorry, 30,000, bringing them up to 86,000 potential. You can live in wherever you want. How you like that? 86,000, not bad. You could go move to different places. You can stay in the city. You can do whatever you want. You can have 2 different houses in different locations. Go and vacation in the Bahamas. I don't know. The point is, there's some really great opportunities, and so that's why I'm passionate about sharing what we're going to be talking about today.
And I'm glad you said that, because you got me excited now. Even somebody like me that have every disability in the world can come and join. I got ADHD. I have all of it. So I feel good. Community, if I can go learn this, you can too. But I'm just excited to hear this. And I just hope that our young people and community gets this. Very important. I hope you all heard what Vanessa said. Very important information, especially as we transition into this digital currency. The Treasury is putting out some information about how they're going to be transferring us over to digital currency. And this ransomware and these attacks are very important. And I'm just happy to have you here, because we want to get some of these young people educated in a position where they can come and also help our seniors and elders of the community, because sometimes they don't want to switch over and make the change. But you're right, a lot of these jobs are going away. And I think that's also causing some of the anxiety and some of the unreal things that we're seeing happen in our communities right now, as people just worry about the future. There's so many people in a bad mental health state. I was just reading an article today where the trucking industry is going to be impacted by AI, as they are making 18-wheelers now that'll be driving without people in it. So even our truckers out there, people that work at the docks and the ports, great jobs that pay big money, these people are worried about their jobs in the future. And, I think this technology is something that we really need to consider and, get in front of. Automation is taking over everything, even in the heat and air conditioning industry. All of the industry, automation is just taking over, as computers are replacing a lot of these jobs. You have to get in front of the wave. And I know it's been going on for a long time. So thank you again, Vanessa, for coming on, giving this information to community. This is information sometimes you don't get. We're blessed here. Vanessa's coming on both sides of the conversation to make sure that our community gets this information and our young people get a head start into a career pathway that will lead them to different intersections of life and success. So I'm excited. I am ready for the presentation. Whenever you're ready to take off, go ahead and do your thing, Vanessa.
Okay, here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and share my slides. Hopefully you can see that there. So super, again, excited to just talk to you about tech entrepreneurship. And this is just to open up the conversation and get you started. Now, you should know that we are going to be offering this class. Again, Tech Entrepreneurship is part of an overarching 2022. We have it underway. Our cohort is underway. They're graduating in November. We're going to be starting a new cohort February the 8th, 2022. Connect with IT Biz. And you can go to our website, loveneverfailsus.com/ITBiz and sign up today, and we will get with you to register you and give you an orientation in the late January timeframe. Tech Entrepreneurship is the second class in our series. We have 4 classes. We have a digital literacy class, that's 5 weeks. Then you go into an 8-week Tech Entrepreneurship class, followed by an 8-week cybersecurity class, and then you end your whole 35-week program with what's called a CompTIA A+ class. You come away from our program with 4 industry certifications and the opportunity to gain 5.5, actually even more than that, college credits, because you're co-enrolled in Merit and you're co-enrolled at Oakland Adult and Career Education, and you're also able to move into a paid apprenticeship program with San Francisco City College, and I'll talk to you about that in a second. So tonight we're going to talk about, I think I've already covered who we are, but I'll just breeze through those slides. I'm going to talk a little bit more about why technology, why now. I already kind of touched on that, but I'll just emphasize a few points, and then we're going to go into these entrepreneurship insights. And then I wanted you to get a quick look at some of our success stories, because that's always exciting. Our mission is to empower all people to express and experience their best sense of humanity. And that is all people. And we believe it's a symbiotic mission in that I get to do that for you and you get to do that for me. We empower each other. And I should mention, we help survivors of human trafficking, especially children that are missing. We help find them. So that's one of the services that we have. I mentioned housing already. I talked about workforce development. We also do mentoring, and we also are in the schools. We're actually in we're in 5 states with our Protect Collaborative, which is with Three Strands Global and Frederick Douglass Family Initiative. We've educated over 500,000 students in 5 different states over the last couple of years, and then we've housed 170 people. And we're all about housing plus careers. We think that is the game changer. That is what turns folks from victims into empowered world leaders. And our process is really to create a pathway to financial freedom. And, and we're so passionate about that because a lot of the people we work with, they are, they may be trafficked, they may be homeless, they may be traffickers, they may be at risk of being traffickers. But, we see this as a deterrent. It's a diversion from getting into any kind of crime, is providing economic sustainability. And so what you might find from us is we might invite you to a diversity workshop or to like a self-paced class, which you'll also find at that website with the loveneverfailsus.com/ITbiz. You'll see some of our self-paced classes, which are some Python scripting classes, things like that. And then we might move you into a 3-hour workshop. It's called ICAP. And that is, again, a Python scripting class. Python is a programming language. It is in high demand in the tech world, and it's used to do some little automation of certain procedures, specifically around allowing certain devices to talk to other devices. And it's actually like it feels like another language, almost like learning how to speak Japanese or write Japanese. If you have any interest in languages, if you have any interest in like puzzles or patterns, a programming language would be very interesting to you. And so this is a 3-hour investment that you could do. Then from there you could say, I liked that. And then you might get into some introductory certifications, and those could be Cisco, that we have some from HP, from Microsoft. And then you would look into moving into our pre-apprenticeship program, which is that 35-week program I mentioned earlier. And this kind of pathway is what leads to these paid apprenticeships. For example, in our partnership with San Francisco City College, they have some paid apprenticeships with tech companies like Dropbox, like SentinelOne, like San Francisco City and County, like San Francisco Airport, where they start off at $15 an hour and they progress to $41 an hour over an 18-month period. So there is some amazing opportunity for you in pursuing kind of this pathway, and we're excited to be a part of it. As I mentioned, we are not doing this alone. We have our programs are taught by survivors, and they're taught by people that have lived experience. And then we have smaller classes that we offer, and we can adapt our classes based on the needs of folks that are in our classes. Some of our people have IEPs, and we're working with them on, their unique needs by providing them life coaches and sending them to referring them to different wraparound services that are so very much needed. And these are all the people that are involved in our process. We love, one of the things that is a game changer for us is working with agencies like Solgen Solutions, where there's a human factor involved in this education. Because, when you're dealing with trauma, when you've lived with trauma all your life, it's really hard to learn. And so we recognize, I don't know if you know this, but this is just something for you to, maybe we talk about this later, John. But, one of the things that is true in the Black community is that we have been suffering from generational trauma. We have high ACEs, which is called adverse childhood experiences. And that has an implication on our ability to remember things. And it has an implication on emotion regulation, a lot of things going on in the brain when you have a high trauma background. When you have these kind of issues, you need somebody who understands and is trauma informed. And so agencies like Solgen Solutions come arm in arm with us to help us to provide that extra care that is needed to support our students. I mentioned this earlier, but I just wanted you to look at it. Look at this. This is the new nurse, y'all. This is the reason why we're doing this. 40% of the world's jobs will be replaced by robots. This was actually a quote from Kai-Fu Lee, who's a venture capitalist. And this is anticipated in very short order. This isn't like the next 1,000 years here, folks. This is the next 5 to 10 years. We're going to see major reduction in some of the entry level positions, and so we need to be responsive and get ahead of this. And when you look at, well, who's going to be impacted by this? Here they are: women, African Americans, Hispanics or Latinos, families with children under 18, and services occupation folks. And guess what? These are also the individuals that are most impacted by human trafficking. So what I like to share when I'm talking with industry partners is to say, when you hire people that come from these categories, that are moving forward and taking a step to learn technology, you're actually preventing them from being homeless. You're preventing them from having to be trafficked in order to survive. You're preventing them from entering into criminal activity in order to survive, because if you disrupt their source of income and you don't provide them any other opportunities, these are the things that they will turn to. So I've really been trying to advocate for us to get the doors opened up, and especially for the people who will be most impacted by artificial intelligence. So why tech entrepreneurship? Well, one of the things that has been impressed upon me is as I've been around for a minute and looked at different industry changes, looked at the pandemics, looked at the .com bust, different economic downturns and upturns in our community. One thing is clear: we cannot rely on one source of income. We need to have many streams of income. And so this is where I want you to catch that having a tech entrepreneurship, or just an entrepreneurship, having an entrepreneurship investment of your time, your mind space, and your energy it could be a life-saving endeavor. And I want to shout out to our business partners, Renaissance Entrepreneurship Center. They co-sponsored this tech entrepreneurship program this year as well. And they have just been phenomenal in helping, people who are underserved, under-resourced to catch this. Diversify your income. Have different streams of income. Why? Because when that 9 to 5 is no longer there, you've got something to fall back on. And infuse tech into every entrepreneurial effort, meaning if you're going to have a side hustle, now I can't remember his name, but this brother was selling soda and he was on Mega Black. And oh man, I want to remember his name. I'll get to him in a second, but his soda sounded good. I wanted some. So, but one thing I was like, I hope that he has a website. I hope that he's ready to transact business digitally. He's accepting Square transactions. He's using PayPal, Cash App, Zelle, Venmo. These different ways to receive currency. These different ways to promote your business. These maybe having a social media campaign on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook for us older folk, more seasoned folk, Twitter, and so on. Having these strategies that are digitally infused in your entrepreneurial ideas is going to be so important to your success. And of course, diversifying your income. And really what we're looking at is there are 4.66 million tech users in the world. So everybody is using technology in varying ways. And so we want to make sure that you, as a tech entrepreneur, are able to tap into those tech users. Also note that there's a massive skill shortage. I already talked about with cybersecurity, with everything digitizing. Imagine what would happen if you hacked into a digital platform that was running a robot that was conducting a life-threatening surgery. Well, you could kill someone. So the need for cybersecurity people is becoming a matter of life or death. When I believe it was in Georgia, when there was a ransomware attack recently that basically held up all of their fuel, gas and fuel. There was some public risk issues. There's some public safety issues that happened there. There were mothers that didn't have gas in their cars to be able to get to the hospital to give birth to their babies. There were people that couldn't get to work because there wasn't gas for the bus systems and things like that. And so you can imagine how, it can become a life-threatening situation to not have the proper cybersecurity. And so that's the reason why it's such an important thing for you to have. And then, of course, just diversifying your skills and your income. These are the reasons why we want to be looking at this. So let me ask you, I'm going to just put out there, an entrepreneur is someone who recognizes a gap in the marketplace that needs to be filled. What is an entrepreneur? It is someone who recognizes a gap, a need, a problem. So any of you like to complain? If you're a complaining person, then you are an entrepreneur in the waiting. You're someone who has all kinds of nuggets of solutions that can be brought to bear to make money and also to make people's lives better. An entrepreneur starts a new business to solve a problem, to fill a gap, and create an item or a service that is in demand. And so one example in the technology space, and this is good because entrepreneurs are sometimes misunderstood and sometimes even laughed at and sometimes even pointed at and poked at. And because they think of things differently than other people. And that is actually a positive thing. But, there can be times when you're not the most popular person in the room. Here's one example of folks, opinion where you just allow everybody to influence you and tell you you're crazy. You can really miss out on an opportunity. An example of this is a smartphone. So a number of years, no one thought it was possible for a mobile phone to be used for anything but phone calls. But someone saw that personal assistants, which were personal digital assistants, which used to be called PDAs, anybody remember Blackberries, and mobile music players, they were becoming increasingly popular. And so what they did was they integrated the mobile phone with a music player and with a calendar. And now we have what is called smartphones. And the people who took the risk of talking about that, developing that, and taking that on, those individuals, let's just say they're not hurting for cash right now. Okay. And so one of the things that you have to do in order to enter into this space where you are making room for entrepreneurial thinking is you have to not be afraid. Don't be afraid. Allow yourself to imagine what you might do, what problem you might solve. Be creative. There's nothing that is off the table. Just throw all kinds of ideas on a whiteboard or on your notepad. And don't take anything off. Just let it flow. And not only will this be beneficial to you and be probably a lot of fun, but it also is an asset to employers. It's an asset to customers when people have entrepreneurial thinking, because they're always thinking about creative ways to solve problems. They're thinking of ways to increase profits, and no matter what situation. I literally, because I'm just like, I'm entrepreneurial, I have an entrepreneurial mindset. I'll go in and I'll start solving your business problems. I'll be thinking, this is what this person needs to do. Oh, this is what that business should do. This is the innovation that those people are lacking. And guess what? Because I've tuned my mind to that, people actually will pay me to come and help them figure these kinds of things out. So the more that you allow this to happen, the better, the more value you will be able to bring. Okay. And so I'm going to play you a little video that just kind of takes you along the lines of know where you're going, and don't be afraid. Do not be afraid to try new things. Okay, so here we go. Go ahead and open that up. Hopefully you can see that.
And so my job was to clean these 7 floors between Friday and Sunday. So every time I would go to the 7th floor was the CEO's office. So I would bust in like I was the CEO. I'm dreaming like I'm the CEO now. And who would have ever thought? I've been blessed. And here I am the CEO of my own company.
Well, I think that the number one thing is you have to have a very clear vision, a very clear goal of where you want to go, because only then you will get there. You can have the best airplane or the best ship in the world, but if the captain doesn't know where to go, he will just drift around. If the pilot does not know where to go, he will just drift around with his plane. So I think the key thing is that we know where we're going, and that you're very passionate about that, that you see it always in front of you, the goal.
To thrive in whatever you do, please understand your terrain. Know what your target is. Don't guess it. Be as clued up as the next man, because that's your petrol. That's your fuel to get you moving. If you don't know where you're going, what your targets are, you're never going to get there. Period.
And the other thing that's important is that you got to shoot for the top. You got to go and really have big goals and think big, because then you're going to get big. Then you're going to go and achieve big things. That is the most important thing. We don't achieve big things by accident.
I have to tell each and every one of you that it doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are, your age, you can achieve anything that you set your mind to. And I always say, if I can do it, anyone can do it.
If you think that you're going to go and accomplish something really special and be the best in anything in the world, and you think you can do it without working, you make a big mistake. Because no matter what I did, if it was in bodybuilding or in acting, or if it is in the political arena, it always took a lot of work. And you got to put out, and you got to, sometimes make a lot of sacrifices. Notice, if you're not willing to work hard, forget about it.
I truly believe we are all equal as human beings. If we are obsessed with something and we truly pursue our passion with everything we have, regardless of anything else, if you are obsessed, work hard, put in the time, you will succeed. And that is a philosophy that I carry, my coaches carry. And to see LeBron James, who's like a mega superstar over here and a phenomenal athlete, share that belief is inspiring right back to me. It shows that we are thinking correct. This is hard work. This is an obsession. Nothing can beat hard work.
This here is the reality? Do you mean that the competition is not the reality?
Listen, the work is behind the scenes. Competition is the easy part. Behind the scenes is where the work is done. And everything is done to get to that one race that you need to run.
I always questioned myself in the best of times, even when I was world number one for many weeks and months in a row. At certain times during the year, I said, what can I improve? What do I need to change? Because if you don't do anything, or you just do the same thing over and over again, you stay the same. And staying the same means going backwards, because the other guys are working hard and improving. So I always needed to find ways to improve my game as well.
I very often watch a lot of.
All right. So I hope that you enjoyed that. I hope that inspired you and just helped you to kind of frame out that it's very important that you know where you're going and that you do not discount your ideas, your beliefs, and your passions. You pursue them and with all that you are and all that you have. And so with that, I want to just invite you, and I'm actually, I wanted to make this a little interactive. I don't know if I think we can see with the chat, but, there's some pros and there's some cons of entrepreneurship. And I wanted to see for those of you who are listening live, what are some pros or some cons? Shoot it into the chat. And we'll take a look at that as we go through and we talk a little bit more about it. Pros and cons of entrepreneurship. You got to think about it. It is a lot of hard work. It's not, where you're being spoon fed a job and you're like, okay, you come here at 9. I'm going to train you. I'm going to tell you what to do from 9 to 10. And I'm going to train you and tell you what to do from 10 to 11 and 11 to 12. You've got to grab hold of your own ideas, and you've got to create business process, and you've got to motivate yourself. And sometimes that is hard to do. And so I'm going to just click away from this slide here real quick and come back to you. And let me just jump over here.
The first question we got from someone is, when is the next class? I think she put up February 8th. I'm fired up. All I can say is I'm fired up.
Yes.
You got me motivated now. I'm excited.
Good.
Let's go global. Let's go global.
Let's go. Yes. And I see, okay, we got Caramel Charm. Hey, we got you chiming in here. Yes. Sign up. If anybody has any, because I'm going to go back to my slides. I have some more nuggets to give you, but, if anybody wants to chime in on, what is the pro of entrepreneurship? I don't know, John. What would be one of the benefits of being an entrepreneur? We talked about the hard part, right? You got to do all that hard work. You heard them talking about that. What's the benefit of it?
I think it's the flexibility, especially with people having families, being able to, be the determinant of how to make your money, be able to come and go when you want, following your own rules.
Yes.
And then just the opportunity to lead. I always believe that great entrepreneurs and great business leaders are just people who naturally are just, gifted to lead people. So
yes,
you have to have that leadership in them. And I always tell people to have to be in you, not on you.
That's right.
I have all these people I know that go to leadership classes and it doesn't make you a leader. I see so many failed leaders trying to go be a leader. I really believe either you're born with it or you just don't have it. That's just my thing.
Yes, exactly. So I see pros. You are your own boss. Absolutely. And that comes with some negative and some positive. Being your own boss means that if you don't make the money, you don't get paid, right? It means that you don't do the work. Let's say that week you're like, yeah, I just want to kick it with my family this week. It's like, well, okay, well, you're not going to have the money this week, but that's your decision. You might like that. You might say, you know what, I planned ahead. I've saved for this. And, that's a good thing. So also the ability to create and execute your own vision. I think that's the thing I like the most about being an entrepreneur. When you're really passionate about something, you can do it the way you want to do it. And you can make sure that it gets done the way you want to do it. And you know what? To your point, John, I have to tell you, being an entrepreneur has really really helped rough out a lot of ugly spots in my character. I've had to be stretched. I've had to realize, man, you got to work on these things because you can't keep blaming other people. Like, why do these people keep doing this? No. It's you. You the one. You got to work on you because there's a theme here. If everybody's always saying the same thing about you and having the same problem with you, and that one of the things that I've had to work on is I'm always like 5 steps ahead. I've already have the plan in my head, and I can't understand why you don't know where I'm at. I'm like, I'm here. You should know that. And my husband will say, honey, he's so nice. He'd say, honey, you didn't fill us in on step 3 and 4. You just went 1, 2, 5.
And I said, you have the same problem I have, right? Everybody else on my team is like, you have to tell us. Like, I'm 16. Yeah. They're like, why are we doing it? Don't worry, it's gonna come together.
Yes.
Thank
So,
you. Thanks to Coach
yes.
for giving that information. That is, the ability to create your own vision is a big part of it. And I just experienced so much of that, in developing and working with our team on how we, intentionally do the stuff that we do for community. It's just amazing how all of these bright minds come together, and we really put together something that's really tremendous. And it's not even where we wanted at, right? This is just like the fetal stage, right? It's like
Right.
so many things out there that's possible if we just
Yes.
get there, and as long as we continue to work together. So I think that ability to create your own vision is very, very, very important.
Very important. And then, and then I've learned to get out of my own way. Just, you put the vision out there, and then you allow people to kind of shape it and own it, and hopefully it sticks, because if you can influence other people to adopt your vision and take it as their own, and then add a little bit of them onto it, you're leading now. Now you're leading.
And a lot of people that can't take that self accountability, it's probably not your role you want to be in, because
Right.
there is a lot of self accountability when things go wrong as the owner or as the that entrepreneur. You definitely got to be willing to take that constructive criticism, and when things don't go right, a lot of times people
Right.
just want to run their own business and celebrate the successes, but when things aren't going so well and people are not working so well, you got to be able to stand up and take that. So it's a lot to it, and you only get 2 hours of sleep sometimes. I only get 2 hours of sleep. So, you got to be willing to grind hard. And, a lot of people say, hey, you need to take a break. But that's, the billionaires and the trillionaires, they ain't going to sleep. They working. So,
That's true.
Working.
That's true. That's true. All right. Well, I'm going to go back in, just sharing a couple of my slides here and keep this going, because I think it's really important that I give you some frameworks to pursue as you're thinking about, pursuing an entrepreneurial endeavor, whatever that might be. So hopefully you can see, let me see, I'm bringing my slide back up here, and we should be in slideshow mode now.
Yep.
So one of the things that you want to, first of all, understand is, can you charge for your expertise? It'll be very important that you think about, what are the top skills in the market, and do I have them? And, in our classes, we talk about, and I'm not going to be able to go through these things in detail, but we talk about the social, legal, and ethical responsibilities of an entrepreneur, and ways that you receive income, and the basic elements of sales presentations, and how to organize your business records. These are some of the things that you'll get if you sign up for our classes next year. You'll be walked through how to go about this, but I'm going to hone in on the top one, which is the top skills in the market. So here are some of the skills, and you can do your own assessment. Here are some of the skills that came from LinkedIn, right? So the top skills that companies needed in 2020, and LinkedIn, has a wide variety of different types of businesses that are on there. And they said that the top 5 skills are creativity, persuasion, collaboration, adaptability, and emotional intelligence. And the top hard skills are blockchain, cloud computing, analytical reasoning, artificial intelligence, UX design, which means basically the interface, like the way that your screen looks. That's the UX design, the design of a website. User interface design, the business analysis skill, the affiliate marketing skill, sales skill, scientific computing, and video production. Look at that. A lot of digital hard skills. Notice there's a difference between soft skills. Soft skills are kind of touchy-feely, more about your personality, your abilities, your interpersonal skills, your communication abilities. Hard skills are things that you can demonstrate that you can do, and they're kind of factual in nature. And so one thing that I'm always impressed by is the soft skills. These skills are very much available in the African American community. We are creative. We are persuasive. We are collaborative. We are adaptable. We have emotional intelligence, many of us. And so if we can pick up these hard skills, we've already got inherently, just in the way that we do things, the top 5 soft skills. And so that's one of the reasons why I'm so passionate about this. And so things that you want to be asking yourself personally, and when you think about your own hard skills, is, do you have any certificates? Do you have degrees? Have you won any awards? What training do you have? Do you have, what do you do at school or at home? Sometimes skills that we have, we don't even value them. We discount ourselves. We don't look at what we do well. Everything that we do. Hey, I want to say something, and some of you might not appreciate it, but some of the things that we're doing out in the streets, okay, we're master salespeople. We are strategists. We're business people. We're business development managers in the streets. If we would take all of those skills that we're utilizing to be in the streets doing what we're doing and apply it to some of these, Fortune 500 companies, we would be at the top of the food chain. And yes, there is discrimination, and there's things that are happening maybe that are keeping you from entering there. Maybe there's, barriers that we have to overcome. But I just want you to know there are skills that you have today that are directly portable into an entrepreneurial function, into a business, into a corporation. And so start thinking, about what is unique about you and what expertise that you have that you could charge for. And then even assessing, what could I charge for this expertise? Are you someone that's always going and fixing people's computers? Are you someone that's always going and fixing people's, their plumbing, their car, helping people watch their children? There's just a laundry list of things that people do, and they don't even know that they're helping somebody and that they could charge for that. And that is really important for you to take that inventory. And then there's also something that you could do, and this is free. You could create a SurveyMonkey account to conduct some market research. And you do that by going to surveymonkey.com, and there's a free account there. And you could create a very brief survey, and you could send it out to some of your friends and family asking them, would you pay for this thing that I do? Or this thing that is unique about me. For example, if you know how to crochet blankets, you might put in your survey, would you actually pay for a crocheted blanket if I were to establish a business like this? And how much would you pay? And you could get a sense of, is there a market here? Is there a demand? It's called demand. Is there a demand for this business idea that I have? If you're, creating snow cones in the Antarctic area, might not be a demand for that. Oh, maybe it would, because it would be sweet and be nice out there, and it's already cold, so why not? You might be one of those people that can sell, ice to an Eskimo. I don't know. But what I want to just urge you to think about is, what are you passionate about? What's unique about you? And find out if people would be willing to pay for that thing that is unique about you. And then as you're thinking about opportunities in the market and you're doing your market research, ask yourself some more questions like, well, I might be good at this, but can I deliver the product or the service better than others? Can I provide the product or service at a lower cost than others? Maybe you got the inside scoop. Some people don't know, this person and that person, so they can't get the discounts like you can get. Will you lose customers if you don't offer the service? Maybe you are really good at making, maybe somebody's really good at making steak, and so you decide, I'm going to start a restaurant, but you're really not good at making rice. And you're not good at making, baked beans. Not good at that. So if you just offered people steak on a plate, but you didn't know how to do little side dishes, would people still buy your steak? Or would you need to have side dishes in there? And then maybe you could bring somebody else into the mix and knows how to make rice and baked beans. I don't know about you, but I'm getting kind of hungry. You getting hungry? Anyway. That's another topic. So do I have the ability and time to deliver the service or product well? That's another thing. If you're somebody who's making something that's a work of art, and it takes you 6 months to create whatever it is, and yeah, maybe somebody would pay $500 for your quilt, but you would only be able to make one every 6 months. Can you live on that? No. So you have to, everything that you're doing has to be considered within certain constraints with the intent of actually making money. And this is a funny tagline that I taught my students this year. If you are doing something that you love and you're not making money from it, it's called a hobby. The only time it gets to be called a business is when you are profitable from doing it. When you are making money doing it, then it's a business. And there's nothing wrong with having a hobby, but don't get it twisted. When you are doing something and you're not making money from it, it's either called a nonprofit or a hobby. Okay, so just kind of keep those two things in mind, because they will help you to keep the right perspective when you're creating your business plans. As you're pricing products and service, you need to be thinking about how much it costs to create whatever it is you're making. I've seen this time and time again. One of the things that we're doing at Love Never Fails is that we've launched a social enterprise where we have a community store, and it's a survivor-led community store. It's awesome, and it's an outdoor, like a flea market that we're doing every Saturday. Well, one of the things that we learned by doing it is we make about $400 or $500 a week making it. Doing the flea market, and we advertise it online, and we have banners, and we do all this stuff, but it costs us about $1,500 to actually deliver it every week because of all the staff that has to sort through all the clothes and the staging and the marketing and everything. So it's actually we're losing money. Now, since it's a social enterprise and it's an opportunity for survivors that we serve to get a chance to develop new skills, it actually lines up with us being a nonprofit. So it's a worthwhile thing for us to do. But if that was my way to pay my bills, I wouldn't be able to move forward with that model because I'm losing money on it every week. And so these are the things that you have to be thinking about. How much does it cost to deliver this solution, this service, this product? And how much profit should I expect? And you have to be able to walk through, how much do I have to pay out for staff wages? How much do I have to pay out for utilities, for professional help to come in and maybe consult me on things, for supplies, for travel, for advertisement, for equipment, for job materials, all the things that I have to buy, that has to get factored in when I actually determine how much money did I really make. If all of this cost me $1,000 and I made $1,200 that weekend, then I profited $200. And so I have to ask myself, is it worth it? It might be worth it when you're first starting off a business because you don't usually make a lot of money in the beginning. But if there is no hope to have make a little bit more, or no plan to make a little bit more, you probably can't live off of that. Other things that you want to be thinking about is, how will you charge for your services? Will you charge, time? It's called time and materials, where, I come to your house, I'm the plumber, and I think this is a 4-hour job, but I'm going to charge you $65 an hour, whether I'm here for 2 hours, or I'm going to charge you $65 an hour, whether I'm here for 10 hours. And I'm going to work on it until it's done. And I want you to pay me for every pipe and every fitting and everything that I buy along the way. That's called time and materials. But I might be the kind of person that says, you know what, I can fix that, and it's going to cost me $300. And I have everything embedded in there, how much time it's going to cost me, how much it's going to cost me for the pipes and the fittings. And it's called a fixed product cost. So I've negotiated a price with you. Or maybe I work on a monthly retainer fee where I'm your plumber because you're always having plumbing issues. Maybe you're an apartment complex and you have me on retainer where you just give me a flat fee every month of $1,000 to fix any kind of plumbing issues in my building. And some months maybe my time is higher than the next month. Maybe it's lower in one month and higher the next month, but I just accept that you're giving me a consistent monthly retainer fee. And these are 3 different models that you can use for charging for expertise. And so you have to think about that. How should I go about charging for my services? And then what's the competition charging? And then what are your goals, right? What are your profit goals? It's called your profit margins that you can anticipate based on what the competitors are doing. And then lastly, some of the things that you want to be thinking about as you're thinking about, the basic structures of an entrepreneurship or of a small business is, do you want to be a sole proprietor, which is, basically your business is owned by one person, or do you want a partnership where the company's owned by 2 people and each of the owners is personally responsible for all debt and share the profits, right? So the partners together, they're responsible for everything in that business. Maybe you want to be a corporation. So, corporations can enter into contracts. They can sue and be sued. They can pay pay taxes separately from their owners. So it's a different kind of structure for a small business is to be a corporation. Maybe you want to be a nonprofit where your mission is to support society. And then there's also a classification called a cooperative. And so it's the customers own a part of the business along with the business owners. And these all have implications to how you pay your taxes, or how you do permits and licenses, and you report to government agencies if you have received government funding, and how you do your insurance. So these are all things to consider. I just wanted you to be aware that, there are these different structures, and they need to be determined in advance. Also, things to think about are, will your opportunity give back? Some people, I have a beautiful sister who contacted me yesterday. She has a food business. She makes wonderful lunches and dinners. And she said, I'm going to donate a portion of my plates to Love Never Fails. And, that's part of her giving back strategy. She's going to donate a percentage of her plates to Love Never Fails. And so, what are you passionate about that you want to give back to? And you can build that into your marketing. And that giving back component can really be a way to reach more customers as well. And then when you are, thinking through when you're thinking through your business ideas, you want to bring all of it together into, and I'm simplifying it here, and we actually go through this in detail in our Tech Entrepreneurship class, but what are the 5 points of your business plan? What problem are you trying to solve? Which means, what is the customer's pain? Like a pain point would be, my back is hurting. So my back is hurting. So maybe my product is really to help me with my posture. So I give people something that helps them with their posture. Maybe my product is that I give you a pillow that you use when you're laying down that helps you lay down more comfortably. Maybe I have a product that's medicine that helps with backaches. Maybe I help you with a hot or cold compress or some exercises that I do. These are different customer solutions to a customer pain, which is my back hurts. So you have the deliverables, which are all those different options that I just mentioned that could address the customer's pain. It's also known as a customer solution. And then you come up with an action plan, which is how will you create or provide the products that will address the pain? So that's your action plan. And then what resources do you need to address the pain? You're not going to just say, I'm going to give you some pillows. Well, where are you going to get them from? You're going to make them, hand make them? Are they going to have a specific design? Or do you know somebody who already makes them and you're just going to buy them and resell them? So you have to think all of that through. And then lastly, what is the budget and the price and the payment terms that you will utilize to deliver your product? Okay. A couple things that I want to mention to you before I show you a final video and take some questions is, this there is, from an entrepreneurial standpoint, small business standpoint, there's a lot of discussion about contract services, about the gig economy, about people, basically, there is quite a push to move entry-level positions into contract positions, and there was a lot of discussion in our last year's election around Uber, and California obviously passed the bill allowing Uber to call workers contractors, which basically when you're a contractor, you don't get benefits, you don't get days off, you don't get retirement, Uber doesn't provide for professional development or training for their, or they don't have to, for their contractors. And so this is a controversial topic, because on one hand, it's nice because, again, you can jump in your car and you can decide, you know what, I'm going to DoorDash tonight, I'm going to Lyft tonight, I'm going to Instacart tonight, I'm going to make a little money when I want to, how I want to. I don't have anybody telling me what to do. I like that. But then I also don't have the unemployment insurance, and I don't have the protections that I had when I was a actual corporate employee. And so this is just something for you to be aware of, this whole notion of gig economy. I'm a fan of a blended strategy where you have you have some kind of permanent job where you are collecting some benefits and some insurance, and you also diversify with an entrepreneurship option like driving Lyft or DoorDash or whatever it is. I like that idea. But to each his own. And I just wanted you to be aware of this idea of, contract services and or small business and the pros and cons of contract work. And I did want to mention to you something that I think is important. I am part of something that's called the Tech Equity Collaborative, and there was an article that was posted. It was very interesting, called "The Broken Career Ladder and How Contract Works Hurts and Helps Worker Advancement." And it's just this whole idea of, to be a contract worker or an entrepreneur, aka entrepreneur, or not to. And here are some things that were themes in this article, and you can go to techequitycollaborative.org to look at this article. But I thought it was interesting. It says many contract workers placed at tech companies accept the positions, hoping to use the opportunity to convert the jobs into permanent direct hire roles. So we're getting these jobs, but we're hoping that they'll lead to being permanent. But in reality, the opportunity to transition from contract work to direct employment is rare. And that is because the company has to up-level their investment in you tremendously. And so this is something we need to think more about. And it says here, just as tech companies have pushed the legal and financial risk to contract workers, those are all the insurances and things that I mentioned earlier, they've also shifted the responsibility for professional development and career mobility into the contract worker themselves. And so this is where we're at, guys, where there is this push. And so again, one of the reasons why I'm very passionate about this might be the way that you enter into these spaces, but diversify your income. Do not just wait for someone to give you a permanent job. Make your own business. Get your own gig going and start investing in you. Why? Because you're worth it. And I'm going to end with this video, and I kind of like it because it just kind of buttons up how to be an entrepreneur.
Many of us want to become entrepreneurs. Starting your own business is one of the biggest dreams of our times. But how do you get to be an entrepreneur? Most of the advice focuses on the practicalities, writing a business plan, raising money, finding staff, marketing and PR. We'll go down a different route. In our eyes, at the heart of successful entrepreneurship lies something oddly more abstract, an accurate insight into the causes of human unhappiness. To be an entrepreneur means essentially to become an expert in the things that make life difficult for people. That's because every properly ambitious business is in some way trying to fix things for other people. And the bigger and more original what you're trying to fix happens to be, the more successful your business can be. Because consumer society is now well developed, it may be easy to think that all the big problems out there already have thousands of fixes anyway. Think of all those car companies or pizza outlets or news websites. We surely have enough of everything. What could we possibly add to what's already out there? But to get a sense of the vast opportunities that still remain in capitalism, all you need to do is ask yourself where and in what areas you're unhappy in the course of an average day. Every unhappiness is really a new business waiting to be born. Your frustrations are a nearly inexhaustible source of raw materials out of which the businesses of the future can be built. So while there may already be plenty of breakfast cereals and t-shirts and cell phones and cab rides for sale, there's so much more that frustrates and depresses us. Think of how difficult it is to get on with one's partner, educate children, cope with anxiety, discover what you want to do with your life, find a nice place to live, calm down in the evening. One could go on and on. Our griefs and irritations are endless, thankfully for the budding entrepreneurs. The biggest first step to take towards entrepreneurship is therefore to learn to study your own unhappiness and what might possibly heal it for you and others. When profits decline in businesses, it's really the result of too many people throwing themselves at trying to fix the same area because they can't think of anything more innovative to do, rather than start a new airline, mobile phone company, or supermarket chain. And by contrast, healthy profits are a reward for understanding and mastering an area of human distress ahead of anyone else. Of course, ideas aren't enough on their own. You need to take care of practicalities and money, but they won't help you if your original psychological insight into human unhappiness isn't sound. And by the same token, if your insight into what makes people unhappy is razor sharp, and your solutions bold, then however difficult the journey, your business will stand a high chance of making money and benefiting humanity too.
All right. Well, there you have it. And I'm going to go ahead and just close by giving you some information about some of our students. I want to just say, I have a little issue here with formatting, but hopefully you can see that. And this was so exciting to be able to walk alongside 3 years ago our first cohort of students in IT Biz. And here they are, Tish, Louie, Scott, Elijah, and John. 80% of our students have held sustainable jobs for 3 years. And these folks are working in video game companies. They're working for local government, county government. They're working for health clinics, low-income health clinics. And Tish, in particular, she's actually been at Cisco now. There's a typo there. 3 years she's been at Cisco as a network engineer. And so we're so proud of her and the work that she's doing there. And this is someone who had no experience in tech and is now living in her own apartment, got her own cars, in the process of buying a home, just doing it. And then here's one of our classes that the next cohort the following year, and some of the students in that class. And again, just super grateful. Breland is one example. A 19-year-old young man knows how to code in 6 programming languages, and landed a job at a very well-known tech company in the Bay Area. And so excited for the students, and want to invite you to support our work. You can go to our website again, loveneverfailsus.com. You can sign up for our cohort, which starts on February the 8th, 2022. And that is at loveneverfailsus.com/ITbiz. You can also follow the work that we're doing on any of these platforms. And And then here's my personal contact information. And I welcome you to reach out to me. I would love to partner with you all, support what you're doing. And most of all, just make sure that you are aware and you are committed to yourself and your own vision, dream, purpose in this life. So
all I can say is I'm excited right now. I'm motivated. I've been moved tonight. Community. If you guys didn't feel the love, the compassion, the humility, the energy, the thoughtfulness behind this, I mean, this is what we're trying to do here. Intentionally get this type of information to the community. This is very powerful. And I want to say thank you to Majid Crawford and to the SF Block family, to our Mega Black family, to all of these Black-led organizations trying to work together, get the resources and information out to the community. This is powerful, okay? These corporations are not coming to our community bringing this level of information, not with the culturally appropriate automation that we got from Miss Vanessa. Come on, man. Like, she brought it to us tonight. We just left the community. When you're talking about impact, she just impacted our community with an opportunity. You brought that hope that we always talking about and vision. I mean, she just gave you the gems on how to start a business, how to run a business. How many people get that information? If y'all didn't get nothing today, every day I always tell people, take something from the day. You were blessed tonight. We are truly, truly honored to have you here, Queen. And that's why I told y'all it was going to be a phenomenal presentation, amazing stuff that she's doing to impact our community. And that's what we're trying to continue to do here at both sides of the conversation. So we also just want to thank you for giving up your time. We know you're busy, you're doing a lot, but to come back. And this is what I always tell people. There's too many people in our community who climb the educational ladder, who climbs the financial ladder, and they forget to reach your hand back and pick up those. And look at Vanessa, just so gracious, coming back, dropping the gems, trying to get our people to move forward. And she was just dropping many, many, many gems. She was saying how she was doing. I was like, I'm going to sell sand to the beach. That's what I'm finna figure out. How do I sell sand? You know, real talk. And then I want to say the brother you was talking about was Menace Man.
Yes,
money juice. We gonna get him on our platform. You know, young brother got his own soda line, menacman.com. But the money juice, you know, I bought a case. You know, I always support my Black and brown business.
Yes,
and,
there you go.
We got to support our own, man.
We got to support.
Yeah, that's what we're doing here at both sides of the conversation, trying to make sure we uplift our community, bring the resources so that our community could patronize our Black and brown businesses, as well as intentionally educate people with these type of like, come on, this is intentional here. Look at this, just phenomenal stuff. I'm just happy. I see the community responding. And I think it is 228-22. You said, right? That's the next cohort.
2822. Yes, that's
there
right.
You all go. So the next cohort is coming in. If you're excited, you heard something in this information today that moved you. In February next year, they're going to have another cohort. Please go to loveneverfailsus.org, IT Biz, like phenomenal stuff. So this is what I'm talking about, community. There's resources coming to the community. You just have to follow, and you just have to get it involved. Right? I was just telling somebody we have to get and participate here at both sides of the conversation. We're trying to get this information to community, but you have to connect with us. You have to connect with Love Never Fails. You have to connect with these organizations, and we're going to continue to do our part to try to bring the resources, bring the information. You can always go follow this or replay this on our YouTube channel. If it was something Vanessa had put on her slide that you want to see, go back to our YouTube, both sides of the conversation, or go to our website, and you can see the video and go back and get that information. Community, you should be reaching out to her. She is looking to help bless our community. Community partners. See all this allyship, all these corporations talking about. How do we connect with the Black and brown community? How do we connect with the people that's doing the work? Here you go. All our allies out here. Reach out to Vanessa at loveneverfailsus.com. Let's connect. She is trying to do so many things to really impact our young people, community, and her work is priceless. In her understanding and how do we transition and dealing with the work that she does and understanding how our young people are impacted when they don't have an opportunity with that equity and making those wages and how it impacts our community. Here's another opportunity. You could do your part. Part of being an entrepreneur is being the change. That's what we're going to continue to do here at both sides of the conversation. Be the change. Vanessa's doing it. You could do it. You got an opportunity. Thinking, that's all it takes. Think, put it together, reach out to some people. These resources are here. Very, very amazing presentation. Thank you again. I don't see any other comments. If anybody have any comments before we close out, put them in the chat now. Other than that, Vanessa, if there's anything you want to say, any other things you want to give to the community, definitely we're going to continue to connect with you. You are part of the Both Sides of Conversation family. As I always said, if there's anything that you're doing, you would like to come on and let community know, or if there's any connections. I mean, these Educational Thursdays community are very, very impactful. Okay, so if you are one of those people in the community who has the gems, has the game, has the information, don't just sit there. Come on our platform, come educate our people. Let's give our people multiple opportunities. As Vanessa would say, multiple streams of income, multiple opportunities to get information is very important. Utilize this platform. It's a community platform. We are reaching our people. We are impacting our people, and we're going to make sure our communities get the resources and connected to the right people that's going to elevate anything that they're trying to do. And I just appreciate that. So Vanessa, if there's anything else you want to say before we close out tonight, I don't see any more comments.
You know, I'll just say thank you so much. I'm honored to be here. This for me is worth so much, to know that someone would be inspired to walk in their purpose. That's my jam. That's what I'm here. So hopefully you guys are excited about you. That is what I'm excited about most. And I just truly believe that, as you said, as we uplift each other, as we support each other, that we will start to see an impact in our communities. We will, pull ourselves out of the poverty that we're currently faced with. And so that is why I'm here. If there is anybody who's listening in who's saying, I want to be a part of that, as you said, industry, employers, please, that's what I have need of right now. I need committed industry employers to come alongside me. I'm doing the work to get people ready, get people trained. I've got the wraparound service. I've got the culturally relevant, folks that are working with these industries. I need employers that are committed to invest in people. And let me just say, these people who are in my classes, they are making the investments. They're showing up every week, 10 and 20 hours a week, investing. And so I want to make sure that we meet them in their contribution. And so, yeah, that's pretty much it. And thank you again, John, for having me on.
And I'm going to sign up for next semester. They meet people where they are. Even me with all my ADHD and all my learning disabilities, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get some of this information so I can bless the community. Thank you again, Queen. I mean, this is just phenomenal stuff, and we just really appreciate you, taking time out of your day, stepping aside from the family to come bless community. That's what it's all about, helping each other, uplifting each other. And we just really appreciate you, respect the work you do. Anything that we could do here at Both Sides of the Conversation to support you, if there's any digital flyers, any events, as we get closer to the new sign up, please send us those flyers so that we can remind community, get it out, and maybe we could get you back on maybe a Tuesday for 20 minutes just to come on our Hidden Gym show to just kind of let people know that the cohort is about to kick off. Phenomenal stuff, community. I hope you all was able to get some great information from this. Please go back and watch it if you tuned in late. Vanessa was just giving, I mean, this stuff right here that she's giving costs money. People pay to get this type of information. So we just blessed and honored to have you here. Thank you again for blessing our platform as well as the community. As we know, this information is very, very important, especially during this COVID. There's been like a 25% of increase of Black and brown entrepreneurs. What a way to grab and give some of this information as we, this thing is spreading. We might go to a second shutdown. So community, like she said, I think Vanessa hit it right on the head. Have that hybrid model. Even if you're working right now and you have a job, think outside the box. Find another way to get extra income coming in. Inflation is up. Our GDP is all messed up. The cost of groceries is up. It's $5 for gas. You're going to need more income. So I think Vanessa has it right. We have to use those hybrid models of working as well as doing our own businesses and the community. That's why it's important for us to support these community businesses and uplift them. And that's why we will continue to do our part to highlight, bring those community businesses to our platform to let community know where they at. Let's spend our dollars Black and brown. Let's uplift and empower those organizations, because a lot of times those entrepreneurs are the one that will hire people who look like us. So, just real talk, a lot of stuff going on. Very important stuff. Thank you again, Vanessa, for coming on tonight. That was beautiful. All right. With that being said, before we wrap things up tonight, community, be safe out there. I just got more information coming in. The fires in Clear Lake is just starting to move. So just be careful out there. I know the smoke is starting to impact the Bay Area. Please watch out for your loved ones who have asthma and different things like this as the air quality continues to shift into a bad pattern for us here in the Bay Area. I know the red flag warning is up. A lot of businesses are closing down early as people are starting to be impacted. Also, community in solidarity, let's make sure we do our part to conserve water. There is more and more messaging going out to the different communities about conserving water. As we know, our state was impacted with a shortage of rainfall and snow this year, and it is starting to impact us as we are approaching another heat wave here in the East Bay next week. Temperatures climbing. Just be mindful. We are having a water shortage, and we need to do our part as communities to help support each other so that we don't have to have any more rationings or turnoffs as our elders and people with disabilities and young people, they need those water services. So let's do our part to support. Continue to do your social distancing, wear your mask as this virus is still spreading through our communities, impacting our community. Please be the change. Do your part. Be respectful. And if you do test positive, please stay in the house. I am tired of seeing people who test positive out in the community, in community events, spreading the disease. So please do your part. Stay home, quarantine, and get yourself together before you come back into the community. Powerful stuff. This Sunday, we'll see you all. Hopefully, you'll be able to join. We are still looking for panelists to join the discussion about colorism this Sunday, and we'll continue to have our hidden gem segments. And next week, our next Educational Thursday, we're going to have a phenomenal sister come back on and talk to us about financial literacy as we start getting ready to keep driving up the information about financial literacy and legacy planning as more and more people are passing away. How do we prepare ourselves so that we can move that generational wealth to our young people and to our families? So very, very important stuff. Thank you all for tuning in tonight. Thank you, Love Never Fails. Thank you, Vanessa, all of our community people that's watching. Thank you to all of our community sponsors, everybody behind the scenes, in front of the scenes that's helping both sides of the conversation. We thank you. We love you. And we'll see you all this Sunday for our next live show where we'll be talking about colorism. Hope to see you there. Have a blessed evening, everyone.